Now boilies are an absolutely brilliant bait, and they're round for a reason. Obviously, to get them out in the lake with a throwing stick or a catapult makes them more condensed and fly through the air a lot easier. However, there are certain times of year where the fish become a little bit scared of little round balls, and simply just by changing the shape of that round ball can be a massive edge. So boilie crumb is a brilliant bait, whether you're adding it to your spod mix or just using it purely on its own, using it for bags, you know, that kind of thing. It's a great addition to your fishing. Now obviously in the past you'd either have to do them at home beforehand, or sit there with a smaller type of device, which is, you know, okay for when you're doing small amounts, but when you want to do a larger amount, it's pretty time consuming. So them guys at Ridge Monkey, them clever old boys, have come out with this brilliant idea, and I just wish I would have had one last week before I went to France. It is a bulk boilie chopping device. As you can see, it simply goes straight on top of the modular bucket system, but it does actually come with a modular bucket system as well, so you don't need to have one of those already. Now if we open up this lid here, inside you'll see we've got some serious chopping machinery. To get that to engage, all you simply do is put the handle onto the attachment there, like so. Now take your boilies, probably got, it's probably a good 1.5 kilos in there, but I'll get as many as I can in this top hopper, but I'll show you that there is an extension to that shortly. So probably not far off 1 kilo of bait in there. So we'll pop the lid down and get turning. Now apparently this device will do 1 kilo in less than a minute. As I said, we put roughly 1 kilo in there, so see how it gets on with that. I don't reckon that's even going to be a minute. I'll tell you what, it's nearly there. I was like a kid at Christmas when this thing turned up. There we go. Done. Oh, nearly. A couple more. Quick. There we are. As you can see, they're all done. Now if we take the lid off of here, inside we have, so at least 1 kilo of all different size baits. Look at those, different shapes and sizes, exactly what you want in your mix. Sifting through this lot and nothing's exactly the same size. The great thing about boilie crumb is it just keeps them coming back to the spot. All these little particles and that will sink into the gravel or the silt and everything else, you know, and that just acts as a magnet for the carp, and keeps them troughing for a long time. Really fantastic edge that is. And if you wanted to make them even smaller, you could simply put them into one of these tubs here that comes with the bucket, put your lid back on again and run them through once more. But I don't really see any need for that, because as I said, for me they are just the perfect size as they are. And as you can see, there's different spaces in between the blades, and what that does is that creates different shapes and sizes every time, so they're not uniform baits, everyone's different. Now as I mentioned earlier, there is a way of putting more bait in there at a time, and that is this little addition, which comes as an extra product. It's like a hopper, if you like, which you just place straight on top of here, and there's little holes in place for that just to sit in to secure it in position, and then you can fill that up with boilies. I should imagine you'd get probably, I don't know, maybe 4 kilos in there, something like that. Not far off of that anyway, for sure. And obviously if you are abroad and you're doing large amounts of bait, or if you're just on the bank, not necessarily abroad, and you want to chop up a load of boilies, there's going to be no easier way. I'm massively impressed with how quickly that done them, to be honest with you. And as I say, this is definitely something that will be coming fishing with me many times in the future. So there you go, there's the Ridge Monkey Boilie Crusher, due to be out by the end of the month, and I can see these things selling like absolute hotcakes, pretty much just like every other product they do, to be honest with you. Fantastic idea, and as I say, this one's definitely coming home with me.